All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Wednesday morning Inner Circle Live session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. Hope everybody is doing well today, this fine Wednesday. We're going to dive in. Today, what we'll do, we'll take a look at the fundamentals, and then we'll start with charts that you guys want me to take a look at. We'll do that, and then afterwards, we'll dive into some that I'm still tracking. So, as always, let's turn off all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. All right. The week is moving, Joy. It's moving, so I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Yesterday I thought it was Wednesday, so I had to get caught up too. So let's dive over to, or just drop me one in the chat if you can hear me okay. No echoes, no extra sounds, nothing like that. Just want to make sure. All right, perfect. So boom, let's hop over to trading economics and Eurozone economic sentiment nears 3-year low. Economic sentiment indicator in the euro area declined for the fourth consecutive month to 93.3 in August, falling short of the market expectations of 93.7. This was the lowest reading since November 2020. Right, so starting to be some issues from a sentiment perspective, as the bloc's economy has been impacted by an aggressive policy tightening initiated by the ECB months ago to bring down persistent high inflation. Right, then we have euro shares erase gains on rising inflation. European stocks trimmed early gains to trade 0.2% lower on Wednesday after data revealed an increase in inflation rates across Germany and Spain, bolstering expectations that the European Central Bank tightening cycle might not conclude soon, which we didn't expect it to. Additionally, the Eurozone Business Survey indicated a deterioration in the bloc's economic sector morale in August, coupled with rising in inflationary pressures. Shifting focus to corporate developments, Prudential insurer focused on Asia reported notable 3.6% surge in operating profit first half of the year. Meanwhile, Dutch insurer ASR Netherlands disclosed a marginal uptick in its first half operating profit. In contrast, Ørsted, the world's leading offshore wind farm developer, plunged by 20% after the company stated that it anticipates impairments of up to DKK 5 billion. Not exactly sure what that means, on its U.S. portfolio. So, guys, back and forth a little bit, but for the most part on the corporate side, positive sentiment as far as profits goes coming out of some of those stocks. So things moving there from a stock perspective. Here, Spain inflation rate quickens for the second month. German import prices fall most since 1987. So the imports coming down in the euro area. You got Japan consumer morale unexpectedly falls, decline of 36.2 in August from July's 19-month high of 37.1 and below the market forecast of 37.5. Household sentiment deteriorated toward all components, namely income growth, employment, and overall livelihood and willingness to buy durable goods. So excuse me. So out of Japan, I sent you guys an article last night, but what there's a back and forth conversation happening between the government and the Bank of Japan. But ultimately, what it sounds like is the Bank of Japan will hold their stance. There will be some negotiations that start the fourth quarter of the year, discussing wage growth and living wages in Japan. And there are folks that feel that the Bank of Japan isn't being upfront and honest regarding the true outlook of the living wage in Japan. So they looking at how those wage conversations will go, and if those wage conversations happen in earnest and a true outlook is given of what the cost of living is currently in Japan, basically feeling that inflation is higher than what's being reported, then first quarter, into the first quarter of next year, we could start to see that change in the Bank of Japan's stance on monetary policy. So it's a ton of back and forth. See if any of that is true. But those are the back and forth articles that are happening. And when we look at the yen, they're continuing to push to the upside, right? Because the Bank of Japan stated that they aren't changing their stance. So we'll continue to monitor that as things move along. So just wanted to give you guys that update there. And then oil continues to climb. So this is an interesting one as well. WTI crude futures strengthened above $81 per barrel on Wednesday, rising for the fifth straight session after an industry report showed the U.S. crude inventories tumbled by 11.5 million barrels last week, far exceeding the expectation of 2.9 million barrels. Last week, they were talking about how the inventory was increasing. So it's an interesting back and forth that happens in the data sometimes. But official data from the EIA is due on Wednesday. Hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico also stoked fears, supply disruptions, keeping investors on edge. The offshore Gulf of Mexico accounts for about 15% of oil output and about 5% of natural gas production, according to the EIA. Moreover, oil and the risk assessed assets got a boost from weakening dollar as signs that the U.S. economy may be cooling, raising hopes that the Federal Reserve will lighten its policy stance. So we'll see. That's pointing to the JOLTS job opening report that came out yesterday, right? So that's it from trading economics. Quite a bit there. Over to the calendar. Last night we had CNN below expectation. Saw kind of a stance there. Started to see a retracement in the Aussie, and then things kind of flatlined. So we'll see what happens when the volume comes in for the New York session today and how they digested that news. Here's the data coming out of Germany with the inflation out of Spain and out of Europe, Spain, and in Germany, CPI numbers. Then today, we got ADP non-farm employment change and preliminary GDP quarter over quarter, along with tonight manufacturing PMI for China. So that's what we got looking at today. And ultimately, all eyes are pointing toward the end of the week, CPI numbers and non-farm payroll. So we could still continue to see that back and forth consolidation throughout the market, things moving slow, looking for those big time numbers to see what the Fed will choose to do. All right. So that's it from a fundamental perspective. Any questions?
Nope.
Benny, good morning, bro. How you doing, man?
Good morning, sir. I'm doing well. Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing well, bro. Anything catch your eye this morning?
Just technically that oil is making a beautiful swing off that 4 hour.
It is.
Yeah, it's making a nice swing. So we expect that to continue long after the correction it had, and that's what it's doing.
Yep. I definitely agree with you there, man. Definitely get you there. All right. Cool deal. Appreciate you, bro. All right. So let's hop over to the charts. We'll take a look at the dollar. And then if you guys have any pairs you want me to take a look at, drop those into the chat for me, and we'll walk through those first. So the dollar, right? That retracement is happening. Okay. Well, this is that crown pattern that I put up there, seeing if we get that retracement, and it's starting. We'll see how deep the retracement comes, right? So AB boundary on the 4-hour time frame, and had a little bit of a pullback, but we're pressing to the downside here. So we'll watch once we get to these lower levels to see if we break this 50% level, which is a 4-hour support here, how deep that retracement comes. And if we get back to this daily support level, that'll be a nice retracement on the dollar, and then give us some potential upside opportunities there. All right. That's the DXY. Retracement is happening as expected off the B boundary. Okay. So pairs for you guys. You guys got anything you got your eyes on you want me to take a look at first? Do let me know, and we'll run through those. CAD Swiss, yeah. We will look at it.
Let's take a look at that oil off the 4 too.
Oh yeah, yep. I'll grab the oil first, and then we'll take a look at the CAD Swiss, which makes sense for the CAD pair. So let's get my pen together. Oops, there we go. All right. Cool deal. So hop over to oil real quick since we're on this side of my charts. Zoom out, boom, boom. All right. That's the 1 hour. We got that 50% retracement down to that daily support level. Look at that beautiful push. Beautiful push there. Going back to the 4, which Benny's referencing right there. 28 retracement in line with that support. And you see the rise, right? Last week, looking for that retracement, and we got it in a beautiful way, right? Now looking for price continue moving to the upside, right? Next stop, $91. $91. So looking for oil to continue pressing long. We'll have some back and forth happening, obviously, throughout that time, but looking for a continuation. You got a resistance level here that we could potentially stall at and get a retracement, but ultimately looking to the upside here on oil. All right. Come back to the daily and look at it from a longer term perspective so that we have that as well. Right. And there's the move. There's the move there to the upside. Boom. So we'll continue to monitor these daily levels as we go, but pressing to the upside deeper in that AB boundary. We know longer term, I think it's on the weekly, we got a 20 scenario that's playing out on oil as well, right here, right? So there's an 80-20 swing, those ABCD waves to the upside, making our way to this 382 level at $94. So in line with that D extension off of that on the 4. So oil pressing to the upside. And look for that to continue. Okay. Look for that to continue. All right. And that D extension there, 91, just shy of the $94 range of that 382 off the weekly time frame. So questions on oil. Looking for that to continue to the upside. No. Let's see here. Here we go. Boom. All right, there's your ABCD website overextended there, so we could get a pullback and then that continuation to the upside there. Okay. Cool deal. Beautiful move on oil. What we're looking for. Let's take a look at the CAD Swiss. So it's been taking its time, taking its time. So we're sitting at daily time frame here. We got this 80-20 on the daily. It's been moving sideways in between this range of 66.152 and this weekly support at 64.752, right? Just moving sideways. Still in this 80-20 zone. We haven't, you see, we've tried to break this level, but we haven't been able to do it, right? Been sitting here since July. So we'll see what happens, okay? Some point we'll have to get a decision from the market, and it's time, right? It's time. So we'll see what happens. Drop down to the 4. On the 4, we got a 382 push here, just shy of that 50% level, and we're just hovering here. So ultimately watching to see, right? Do we hit this 4-hour D extension, right? If we break that, then it's likely that we continue heading south, right? But this level that we're sitting at, just for context, weekly, is an all-time low, right? Good time low. I haven't been here before. So, right, there's the full chart. So creating new opportunities, right? Territory. So we'll watch to see, right? If we break that, then we'll look for a next level of support. But right now, that weekly level is the level of support that we're hanging at. Excuse me, and we haven't been able to break through that. So that's where we sit. Let me clear all this out. Oops, those are smaller waves. My bad. Longer term, right? The capital AB boundary, 118, 127 is the D extension here on the 4-hour. So we haven't hit that 382 on the capital fib. Those are sub fibs to the downside. So we're continuing to watch, right? Continue to watch the slide sideways, and we'll see if we get a pop and a push to the upside at some point there. Okay. Down to the 1. There we are, just hovering at the B boundary. We haven't gotten to the 382 yet. So price is trying to decide what it wants to do. Okay, trying to decide. So still stuck in the range, still pressing sideways. We'll wait to see if we get a strong break of the level. So we came right back up. Same thing here, push down, came right back up. So we'll see if we get a strong break at some point. Joy's in 64,834. Oh, great. Yeah, right in this range. Beautiful. Beautiful. So we're just waiting to see, right? We're just allowing the market to do what it does, and waiting for a decision. Waiting for a decision. You see cloud 1 just pressing sideways through it. Okay. Just pressing sideways through it. So no doing there. Cloud on the 4. Boom. Right. Starting to press into the cloud on the 4. Got an initial breakdown. Now we're just sliding sideways, right? So we're coming to an inflection point, it seems like. If we run our trend lines to the downside, from a trend line perspective, as price pressing price into that support level. Right, see price coming down, and we're coming into a tight spot. Boom. Right, so at some point, price have to make a decision, be it pressing down and continue that move down, or breaking that trend line and starting to make its way back to the upside. So that's where we are in the cat Swiss. Just waiting patiently for us to make a decision. All right, waiting patiently for price to make a decision. Questions on the cat Swiss? Oh, all right, cool deal. Let's take a look at the dollar Swiss. Going through all these Swiss crosses. Dollar Swiss. That press back down, continue to press to the upside. Let's come back. Let's see. Boom. So daily time frame, right? We need to at that daily resistance level here. Then we press down into the 118, 127 zone, right? And now we got that reversal coming. We broke back above this previous monthly support level, right? And now we're just hovering at that zone. So want to see, do we continue to make those moves to the upside with dollar strength, right? So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We're retesting previous support here as well, right? Previous daily support was here, right? And we're hovering in that range, not able to close above. So we'll see what happens as we move through the rest of the week here. If we push back down to the downside and continue making our way to a D extension, or if we continue that rise to the upside here. Okay, so that's on the daily. Coming down to the 4. Actually, let's do this. The daily support level will drop in here. And we'll take that resistance also. All right, we'll remove that level from it. Boom. So that's where we sit now. Take that out. So there we go. Resistance, 2 to the right, support there. So down to the 4 now. Let's see. Run the fib off the high here. And you see the retracement there. All right. See the retracement there. 50% on the 4 hour. And then we turned over at that level. Okay. So we'll see what happens, right? If we get this continued move to the downside off the 4, making our way to the D extension, which is down here at 82,072. Okay. But a lot of us depend on the dollar throughout the week this week. All right. I'm gonna drop into the 1. Zoom back out. Let's see. There we go. So there we go on 1 as well, similar to that 4. Okay, so push back into that 50% retracement, just shy of that 50% retracement zone. So just waiting to see what happens, right? This one definitely going to wait to see what happens with the jobs reports on Friday, right? And see where things stand. Sub fibs running to the upside. Nice pullback. See if we get a punch to the upside and break this daily level and continue tracking higher if things move in favor of the dollar here. All right, so that's where we are on the dollar Swiss. Looking for price to make a decision off this retracement. Let's see if we continue moving down or we get that reversal back to the upside. Okay. Benny, you got anything particularly looking for here, man? No. Gotcha. All right, cool deal. Any questions? The dollar Swiss. Nope. All right, cool deal. There's an NZD dollar move. Got a nice little pullback on the 1 hour after the strong break on that news yesterday from the jobs report. Got a little pullback. Now we're turning over, trying to continue the track to the upside. All right. There's an 80-20 play down that put us on yesterday. All right. So looking for price continue moving to the upside. And this is the 1 hour pushing long there. Okay. So still tracking there. Let's go to the NZD Swiss. I have to clean up my markup on this one. Pull the cloud off. Up to the daily. Clean things up real quick. All right, so from a daily time frame perspective, let's look. Outside of this decoupling here, right, we broke some lows. So price is moving to the downside in a very strong, all right, in a very strong way. So Let's see what happened here. I'll make sure I get my fibs right there. All right, so fib off the high, boom. On the daily time frame. Pressing down into the 118-127 zone after that break of that monthly support level. Right, so now we're hovering shallow retracement at 118-127 zone. We're starting to press sideways. Okay, so this is one to watch to see what happens, see if we get the commodity currencies, and we start to see a retracement here. Okay, so that's on the daily time frame, coming down to the 4. Boom, back. Boom. Right. On the 4, shy of that 382 level, daily resistance, push down. All right. The 118-127 zone, we're pressing sideways. So question is simply going to be, do we get to the D extension first, right? Or do we see the retracement first? Okay. So we'll watch this one closely here, see if we start to get that shift, right? 80-20 on the daily, 80-20 on the 4 hour, right? So we'll see if we start to get that shift and that push back to the upside. Coming down to the 1. We'll zoom back. Maybe, there we go. And we'll run the fibs off the high. Yeah, so we're going to come back to that circle part because that's chopped way through. So we'll come back to our high here. That did 1 second and go to the 4 and pull the fib off there. Just so we get a clean look. Take that off. And on the 1, we'll come to that point. And we'll run the fibs off the high there. Boom. And boom. Nope, still no. Let's see. There we go. All right, so now on our 1, we also got an 80-20 scenario. So 80-20 on the 4, 80-20 on the daily, 80-20 on the 1, right? So now we're looking for confirmations, all right? Confirmation of a reversal here. So let's watch this. You can watch on the 4, you can watch on the 1, your choice, right? But here's the scenario. Boom, just below that D extension. There's the risk there. Back to the 382. That's on your 1. Boom. There you go. All right, stop loss, 150 pips. Let's see. 100 pips to the D extension. So we'll bring that up a bit. We'll bring that up to 110. And to 382, you're looking at 220 pips to the upside. So 2-to-1 opportunity there on this NZD Swiss. Okay. Bingo. So let's drop the cloud on and see where we sit with the cloud. Zoom in. Pressing sideways, we'll see the cloud also pressing sideways, price moving sideways through cloud in that 118-127 zone. That's the concern they talked about last night that we like to see in these zones, right? So now we're just looking for price to make a decision, right? Price to make a decision. D20 scenario on the New Zealand Swiss. Any questions? And I am going to take this position here. Let's see, 51, that's 110. 110 is 51,384. All right, so we're gonna take this 5, 0, 1, 110, and 220, 820, 1 hour. All right, boom. There you have it. All right, so that's the NZD Swiss. No questions here?
Nope.
All right, cool deal. Let's take a look at that Euro Swiss. Also still hovering, right? Overall daily, we got to 382, shot of 50%, pushed down, been stalling at this support level here at this 118.127 zone. Trying to make a decision, right? Hasn't been able to yet come down to the 4. And here's our 80-20 scenario here. Shallow retracement, 118 zone, and this is that sideways push. Double bottom at that daily support level. Now we're trying to turn over and get a push to the upside. We shall see. We shall see, right? Got some work to do. See if we get back to this daily level first, and then see if we're able to break that to get to that 382 level. But just been sitting, taking its time as well, as it looks like the other Swissy pair. So this is your 80-20 on the 4. Looking for the push to finally come. We'll see if it happens, right? Sentiment shifting to ECB continuing to be hawkish, increasing interest rates because of the data that came out. So that's where this little bump is coming from, right? And we'll see if that bump continues and drives that price up to the upside there. Coming down to the 1 hour, pull the cloud off for a second. We'll come back to it. There we go. Fib on the 1. We also got 80-20 scenario. Larger fib, long out, but that's where we sit on the 1 hour. That double bottom a little bit more clearly there. And you see the push. Boom. All right. So looking for, like I said, see if price continues to push to the upside. Okay. Drop the cloud on. Drop the cloud on. And we see the bullish push there above the cloud. We got twist. Hold on 1 second. Push to the upside, bullish cloud ahead. And we got lagging span to break to the upside here. So the confirmation here on the 1 hour, we'll see if we get pulled back in the continuation, some follow through there on that Euro Swiss to the upside. Okay. Questions on Swiss?
Nope.
Nope. All right. Cool deal. Cool deal. Cool deal. All right. And then let's bounce back and look at the pounds. Let's see. Similar action, not action, but sideways movement. So come back to the daily here. We'll run our fibs off the high. All right, but we see overall just for moves for the past 3 years or past year and a half, 2 years. Right? So moving sideways, tighter range here, push down to the bottom of the range. We'll see if we get a shift and a push to the upside. So more of a range than anything else. Hold on one second. Boom. Right. So that's where we are on the daily time frame. 8-6 retrace frame. Just looking at it from a structure perspective, right? Coming down to the 4. Similar deal, right? It's super choppy. So just waiting for price to break out of that range again. Coming down to the bottom, see if we get a push to the top. We need to break above 112.389 in order to get any confirmation in any direction, really. That's 150 pip range, 200 pip range from the bottom. So if you want to trade the range, opportunity, but just sitting and watching that one for sure. Sitting and watching that one for sure. Questions on the pounds was not a ton of happening. Okay. And let's see. Let's check in on those Euro Aussie and Pound Aussie after that data last night. Euro Aussie, right? Still tracking to the track side daily, right? We wanted to see if we stayed 168.272 level, and we're hovering at it, but still staying below. Right, still staying below. So we'll continue to watch to see. We got a 236 retracement, got the daily support level there that we're stuck at, and was just stuck in the range there. So after the news last night, really just stayed in the range. Right, there was a spike last night, and then we're just pressing against that previous monthly level, top of the range. So we'll see if we get any changes as we move through the rest of the week here. Okay, the 18,127 zone on the 4. Right, so just sideways, and there on the 1, you can see that a little more closely there. 8-6 retracement came down, started making its way to the downside off that 1 hour deep retracement, and we're just allowing it to do what it's going to do. So not a ton happening on the Euro Aussie at the moment, as folks are looking ahead to the end of the week to see what transpires there. Coming to the Pound Aussie. Similar, right? 80-20 scenario, daily time frame, trying to press down. This is a zone that we said we wanted to watch to see how price reacts, and it's just hovering at the moment, trying to get a little push to the upside. So we may see a retracement, potentially, before we see a continuation down. Coming to, there's our 80-20 on the 4. Beautiful push to the downside. At its lowest, 400 pips, right? We're sitting at 311 now. But you see starting to try to get that retracement to come in. So we'll see if we're able to get a full retracement here. We got a good consolidation zone here, zone of resistance. So we'll see if we just retest that and continue to the downside, we push further. Okay. So that's the 4 on the Pound Aussie. Coming down to the daily, here's where that, okay, and you see starting to get a turn here, still not able to break above the cloud yet, still got a bearish cloud ahead, don't have a TK crossover either, so still signs for downward pressure, but do we see that change in the short term to give us that high price to get short? Okay, so that's what we're looking for, and that's the question that we're asking. Okay, so that's the 80-20 on the 1 on the Pound Aussie that I got my eyes on to see if we get a high price so I can add to this position and continue down. Questions on Euro Aussie or Pound Aussie? Good morning, Donette. Oh. All right.
Hey,
Swiss.
Ryan,
Yes, sir.
you have any of your 5-minute chart set up? Is that? No.
Which one do you want to look at?
Any really?
Any
I
of
was looking at it this morning.
Yeah, I was going to
Just
dive
watching to see if
into
it's going.
to
Yeah.
a couple of those stocks. Let's
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah.
You're looking at Meta.
Yeah, I like to do that from time to time when the market is grinding. A lot of times you can just catch those day trades on the 5-minute. Get some price action on the lower time frames.
Yeah. Oh, you want to look at some of these over here? I got you.
Yep. Yeah.
So Aussie CAD. We'll just go through off the top and we'll work through. Right. So there we are on the Aussie. Already gave us a push to the downside. Double bottom at that 382. Starting to try to make its way back to the upside. So nothing there on the Aussie CAD on the 5. Let's just bounce.
I just like to go through from time to time, right? And just see where it's at in regards to the sequence. Same approach.
Yep. Yes. My mother says, good morning, everybody. Logan's first day at school. So
awesome.
Kid to school.
Tell her good luck this year.
Will do. Coming down to the left, working our way to the upside. Let's see. We'll continue to track them here. All right, so they were on the Aussie Swiss 5, trying to just moving sideways, taking this tide there. So nothing doing there. Aussie yen. So on the one, we got a 382 push and we're pressing to the upside. Let's see if on the 5 we get some opportunity here. Boom. Still trying to, so that D extension is in line with resistance level there. So nothing doing on the yen either. Aussie NZD also pressing sideways. Let's see. 15 coming down to the 5. Gold on the 5. Yep, we'll check it out, Joy. Let's see. Here's a low. So here, pressing back down in the zone, trying to turn back over and press to the upside. Let's see. Potential opportunity for a push to the upside here on the Aussie New Zealand. Hovering sideways. We'll see if we get a push there. That's the Aussie New Zealand on the 5. Okay. Let's hop over to gold. Let's see what Joy's taking a look at. Boom. So that's on the 1. That's that move that we've been tracking to the upside. So let's come down to the 5. Boom. There's a 5 to the upside. So looking for that extension to get hit in a reset, right? Let's see. There on a sub fib off the C, you got that. On this one, I would wait. You could play that though, but I'd wait for that D extension to be hit, right? And that could be that sub fib push into that 118, 127 zone. But I'd wait for that to get hit in fresh AB boundary on that capital fib to the upside there. Right. And then see if we get that retracement. This was a strong push to the upside. So a retracement definitely could be on the way. So I'd wait for a push up like that. And then look for that move back down to retest that previous consolidation zone, that area that price broke out of. Like so. That's what I'd be looking for there. Okay. Question. What'd you see there, Joy? Anything you got your eyes on?
Well, I'm in a long, and I was waiting for that to finish out, but then I was looking at the 5, and I noticed on my sub fib, because I always do the last leg and then run it, and then I'll go back and run it from the bottom. And I noticed it was at 80-20, but it's been consistent because of, because don't nobody really trade gold until after 2. They only do in the morning, so the volume been like that all day. So I didn't know if this would be like, because we was playing it to the upside, if this would be a play that would be bouncing off support, or if this was like a 80-20 because of the sub fib and that fib right there.
Yeah. I follow you. I follow your thought process on that. In the timing it's interesting on gold. But we definitely could see that, right? That sub fib is a beautiful setup, right? And that'll be ultimately, once that D extension gets hit, that'll also be your fresh AB boundary as well, right? Something like that. So, but I follow you. It definitely could, right? There's some confluence there, that 118, 127 zone in line with that D extension, right? So we definitely could see that retracement. I would just wait for that last push to the upside. There's like sometimes what you'll see with gold is in those times that you're talking about, that that the volume comes in, a lot of times you'll see a push in the opposite direction that it actually moves during that session. So you might see a push to the upside and then see price tail off and give us that retracement. So that's what I'd be looking for there.
Thank you.
Cool deal. Yeah. Take a look at it, Carolyn. We'll do a quick markup here. See a shallow retracement on the 5. All right, cool deal. Let's do a quick markup on Meta, and we'll see where things lie. There we go. We'll lock that in. Resistance levels, support levels. Boom. All right. Boom. Boom. There we go. All right, so we got support levels on the daily time frames. Drop to the 4. Purple. There we go there. That's what we said. One more there. What I do there? I changed my bad. Take that off. There we go. All right, so there's support levels there. Gotta drop them in. Boom. All right, Cool deal. And we'll take this one also. Now to the one. Exxon. Yeah. We'll go with orange. There we go. And then support levels here. In line there. All right, cool. So daily 4 hour, 1 hour on support and resistance. Now we'll run our fib on the 1, and then we'll drop to the 15 and the 5. All right. So let's take these off. Boom. All right. So got our support resistance levels in. I want to run a fib. So I'm curious here. So I want to see what this looks like on the daily time frame. Bingo. Yeah, that's what I want to see. 618 retracement, double bottom, and we're pushing to the upside. So as we come down through the time frames and look at these, that one got taken out to the downside. So we'll shift it, look down, AB boundary, double bottom, push up on the 4. Okay, coming down to the 1. So how I like to, when I'm starting to look at the lower time frames, but what I like to have is still that top-down view to looks like from a holistic perspective, so that I understand if I'm trading these short-term retracements or if I'm trading ultimately in the direction that I foresee price moving anyway, right? So overall, daily time frame pushing to the upside on Meta off of a 618 retracement level, right? So here on the 1, we got a double bottom, boom, B boundary, and we're pushing long. So this is moving in the same direction as price. So we could potentially see on the lower time frames a retracement, then for price to get back to the upside. Okay. So now as we come down to the 15 and we look at this, okay, there's our AB got taken out, price came back down. So on the 15, we'll run the fib to the upside, boom, AB boundary in line. Okay, so now as we come down to the 5, we have a view of what we're looking at, right? And there's our AB boundary on the 5, shallow retracement. Didn't quite push into the 118, 127 zone. We'll see if we get that pop, but we might just get a retracement on this one, right? We'll see if we get price to push into the zone like that, right? Give us our optimal entry, and then see if we get a retracement like so. Okay, so that's Meta top down. That's the 5 minute. We're looking for that retracement. But the question is just how does it come? Does it come off that B boundary and move down, or do we get a push into that 118, 127 zone first and then get that move back down to the downside? All right. Questions? You're welcome, Carolyn. No questions?
Nope.
Cool deal. I'll start to do more of that. I know Benny drops down to those lower time frames all the time. I'll definitely start dropping down to those a little bit more, so we can start to see what that looks like. And I'll have some more of my my stock chart set up as well, kind of as we talked about yesterday. Any questions about anything that we covered this morning? No? Benny, anything before we wrap it up, bro?
Hey man, great session as always. Market's grinding along right now, right? Definitely ready for September, ready for the fall for it to come into play. But this is typical. Yep. So we just continue to, sit in those longer positions that we have running, and we get paid to wait. So, other than that, I look forward to seeing everybody tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Asian session.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. All right, good people. Have a phenomenal day. Patience, patience, patience. allow the market to do what it does. Make sure you find those confirmations before you take the opportunities. All right. Have an awesome day. We'll see you tonight. Peace.